I'm proud to support the Cayman Islands' home for quality classical music. This is Jung Ho Pak, Artistic Director and Conductor of the Cape Symphony. Thanks for listening to Classical 107.5 WFCC Chatham.
AP Radio News. I'm Sandy Kozel. Rescuers are digging through piles of earth and snow on a popular trekking route in Nepal, where an entire village was buried by a mudslide triggered by the recent magnitude 7.8 earthquake. AP correspondent Tim Sullivan reports.
The quake triggered a mudslide in a very scenic trekking valley and just wiped out this village, where there were dozens of tiny tourist inns, killed at least 60 people, but villagers say they think there could be as many as 200 people dead, if not more.
Hillary Rodham Clinton's lawyer says she's ready to go before the Select Committee on Benghazi.
In a letter to the committee released by the panel's top Democrat, David Kendall says the two appearances that Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy wanted, one to discuss Benghazi and the second to deal with Clinton's use of private emails, won't be needed. Kendall says Clinton will answer all the questions lawmakers have in one session during the week of May 18th or later.
AP correspondent Jerry Bodlander. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is preparing for another bid for the Republican presidential nomination. The ordained Baptist minister turned politician returns to his hometown of Hope, Arkansas today to make official what the local newspaper has called the worst-kept secret in the state. Well, President Obama made an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman last night and was asked about racism in the country, given recent cases of police officers killing black suspects. He says the problems go beyond issues of police abuse.
What you have are pockets of poverty, lack of opportunity, lack of education, all across this country. And too often we ignore those pockets until something happens.
The president also joked with Letterman that they should hang out together when they both retire from their current jobs.
I was thinking you and me, we could play some dominoes together.
Dominoes.
Letterman's last late-night show on CBS is May 20th. This is AP Radio News. Nebraska is edging toward becoming the first conservative state in decades to repeal its death penalty.
A vote could come this week in Nebraska on doing away with the state's death penalty. Capital punishment opponents are optimistic after an initial vote in the legislature to repeal the law, but acknowledge they still face a challenge as opponents scramble to block the change. A coalition of Democrats and Republicans has formed behind the repeal effort. Democrats note racial disparities in who's sentenced to death and the possibility of executing an innocent person, while Republicans see it as a fiscal matter, noting the cost of carrying out executions. No one's been executed in Nebraska since 1997. I'm Carlotta Bradley.
The top six on NBC's The Voice saluted moms on last night's show. As Mother's Day nears, Megan Lindsay wowed the coaches with Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace.
She is Team Blake's last hope. Sandy Kozel, AP Radio News.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH+. EH+ combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH+ gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
The Honda Dream Garage sales event has great deals on almost everything we make, like generators for backup power, and the techno-packed Honda Odyssey with rear-view camera standard for backup power. So go! You've got a garage to fill.
During the Dream Garage sales event, get 0.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers on a 2015 Odyssey. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Confirm safe conditions before backing up. Rearview camera doesn't display all info about conditions and objects behind vehicle. See your local dealer for financing details.
Welcome to the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta. Your nonstop hour of local news from the CapeCod.com News Center starts now on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
It is 6:04 right now on an early Tuesday morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Cape Cod Morning News here on WFCC. I am Matt Pitta. We're glad to have you with us as we get underway with a full hour of news and information. We have everything you need to get your Tuesday off on the right track. Dave Reed says today we can expect some clouds on the increase, maybe some showers later on this afternoon, and a high getting up to near 67, mostly cloudy tonight, down to 49 and partly sunny for tomorrow. Dave will be high with our full forecast coming up in just a couple of moments. Stay tuned for that. Let's get underway right now with your news. We have an extremely busy morning to get to, so settle in, pour some coffee, and let's tell you what's happening right now. First of all, this is a developing story from late yesterday. Barnstable police say a man tried to abduct a teenager from her bus stop on Putnam Avenue in Cotuit yesterday. Police are asking for the public's help in finding that suspect. He's described as a white man, around 6 foot, with a thin build and short dark brown and gray hair. The victim said he tried to pull her into a reddish-brown four-door or extended cab pickup truck. Anyone with information on this, if you've seen a vehicle like this, you're asked to contact Barnstable Police. Again, this was in Cotuit yesterday, and the vehicle is described as a reddish-brown four-door or extended cab pickup truck. Keep you updated on that throughout the day. Town meeting season last night in earnest. 6 communities around the Cape holding sessions. Mashpee Town Meeting approved a $53 million budget and $700,000 in capital projects last night unanimously and with no discussion. About 180 people attended the session at Mashpee High School. Conservation agent and Herring Warden Drew McManus urges people to support a community preservation fund purchase of a 4-acre parcel on Washburn Pond for $170,000.
That parcel of land at 9 Quashnet Road, just because of its proximity to pond front and to the Mashpee River, I felt it was an important piece of land to set aside as conservation.
The article passed by a strong majority. Eastham Town Meeting voters passed a $23 million budget last night, $746,000 in capital acquisitions, including 2 ambulances and several affordable housing measures. They enthusiastically approved $85 million for the second phase of a town water project, which Selectman Chair Linda Burt says will extend services in Eastham.
The people that have got the water to begin with for the small system, it was good for them, but we were worried about the people that still weren't going to get clean water, and this is going to do it for them.
Now, the town also used electronic voting for the first time. The town election will be held in Eastham on May 19th. A nearly $70 million budget was passed last night at Sandwich Town Meeting, but the most discussion went to the restoration of a piano that dates back to 1895 in the town. It now sits inside the town hall. Resident Bill Bailey spoke out about that.
We're looking for a permanent number, $10,000, and I'm envious of the school committee looking for a $68 million budget with no discussion. We are discussing at quite a length the $10,000 appropriation.
The restoration ultimately passed. A beach renourishment appropriation for nearly $55,000 was also approved. Harwich Town Meeting voters approved a budget of more than $56 million last night that includes $22.8 million for the Monomoy Regional School District. Finance Committee Chairman Skip Patterson says the town has to work in reining in its spending.
On our current trajectory, we can expect our taxes to double in 6 to 10 years, depending on whether we can rein in the persisting growing costs.
Harwich residents also approved a capital plan update and funding for a new ambulance and vehicle for the fire chief. Town meeting will continue tonight. Other towns across the area, Bourne Town Meeting voters approved money to rehab Buzzards Bay Park and their spending budget as well. And also in Brewster, a $22 million operating budget was passed and a $10 million debt exclusion for road repair also won approval in that town. 6:07 right now on the Cape Cod Morning News. It's a Tuesday morning, and Dave Reed is here. And Dave, let me look outside. What's it doing out there? I haven't turned around the last hour or so.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Looking good. Yeah, nice and clear. So far, it's kind of a high fives morning for this Cinco de Mayo, you might say.
That's right. It's time to get the guacamole and the salsa and all that. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
You can have that for breakfast if you want, but not me. Today, increasing clouds with a small chance of a shower this afternoon, 30% chance of much-needed rain. Meanwhile, continued elevated forest fire danger with the extra dry conditions, so please sit tight on the brush burning for a while. 67 today, 49, mostly cloudy winds tonight. Partly sunny weather develops Wednesday with 65, and then we're back to sunny, warmer 70-degree skies on Thursday. 2-foot seas today, 5 to 15 knot north winds. It is 67 in Boston, 51 on Nantucket, dramatically different there. 57 in Osterville. Dennis had 55, and we're 56 outside our back door here.
With all the snow from the winter, some people said to me, you guys are talking about the need for rain, but we do, right?
We absolutely do. Less than half a normal April showers last month, so things are dry.
All right, Dave, thank you. Dave Reed with our forecast here on the Cape Cod Morning News. Dave will be back within the half an hour with another complete forecast for you in just a moment. When we return here in just a couple of seconds, we'll tell you what happened at the Wellfleet Town election last night here on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time is 6:09.
The Cape Cod Morning News will continue on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
Introducing the first annual Cape Cod Low Vision Summit for seniors on May 20th. This free event will offer information and helpful resources for anyone affected by low or impaired vision. Seniors, their families, caregivers, and professionals are all invited. Guest speakers include representatives from the Perkins Library, Massachusetts Association for the Blind, and Sight Loss Services, as well as Dr. Miriam Englander, MD, from Ophthalmic Consultants of Boston, and low vision specialist Dr. Jennifer Salvo. The summit will be held Wednesday, May 20th from 9:30 to noon at Thurwood Place in South Yarmouth. It will begin with a continental breakfast, followed by the guest speakers and question and answer session. There is no cost to attend, but seating is limited. Please call in advance to reserve your seat at 508-398-8006. That's 398-8006. The first annual Cape Cod Low Vision Summit. Learn more at thurwoodplace.com.
We all know moms deserve the best on Mother's Day. Hi, this is Glenn Orman at Oliver's in Yarmouthport. Many good sons and daughters bring their mother to Oliver's for Mother's Day because of the goodness of the food and the value it represents. On Mother's Day, we offer our full menu plus a nice variety of specials. They include baked stuffed Gulf shrimp, smoked Virginia ham, swordfish, and of course our very popular lobster pie. Oliver's Mother's Day specials start at just under $13 and are served with a choice of soup du jour or clam chowder, potato or rice pilaf, and fresh baked rolls and butter. And to make it even easier, we do accept and encourage reservations on Mother's Day. So bring Mom to Oliver's and show her that her efforts to bring you up with good taste and a sense for value have been successful. Oliver's and Planks Tavern, open year-round on Route 6A in Yarmouthport, right on the Yarmouth-Dennis-Town line. Oliver's and Planks Tavern, serving Cape Codders and visitors and moms since 1983.
If you haven't been to the Nautical and Nice gift shop at Payne's Patio lately, then it's time to set sail for MacArthur Boulevard and see all the new Nautical and Nice. Newly renovated Nautical and Nice at Payne's Patio is a one-of-a-kind shop that specializes in all things of or relating to sailors, ships, and the sea. You'll find more than 50 boat models on display, plus tableware, lamps, occasional furniture, wall accessories, and much more. If it's nautical, you'll find it at Nautical and Nice. Whether you need a gift for a friend, teacher, neighbor, or just a little something for yourself, they have a wonderful selection of gifts in every price range for every occasion. Anyone who loves the sea will enjoy a visit to the lower level of Payne's Patio, where you'll find Nautical and Nice. It's always summer at Payne's Patio, just south of the Bourne Bridge on MacArthur Boulevard and at paynespatio.com.
Payne's Patio.
It's the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
6:12 right now here on the Cape Cod Morning News, and we are so happy to have you with us here right in the middle of your nonstop news hour on a Tuesday. Wellfleet voters re-elected incumbent selectman Dennis Murphy at yesterday's election. He topped a field of four that included Richard Elkin, Timothy O'Hara, and Helen Miranda Wilson. Residents also passed 9 of 10 ballot questions, only rejecting a tax override for a new police officer. They approved spending money for a new fire engine, Route 6 repairs, harbor dredging, and repairs to the Mayo Beach parking lot in Wellfleet's election yesterday. A forum will be held tonight at Mashpee Middle High School to inform parents on the number of topics, including drugs and alcohol, the use of drug dogs in school, the impacts of social media, and social liability law. School's headmaster Kevin Turner says a lot is going to be covered in about 90 minutes.
It's a jam-packed agenda, but we think it's important to, we ask our parents to do so many things. This is just one night that we hope will contain a lot of precious information for them to gather.
Now, in support of our children, we'll start at 6 o'clock and feature guest speakers Ray Tomasi, CEO of Gosnold, Barnstable County Sheriff Jim Cummings, and more. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is asking boaters and fishermen to slow down in Cape Cod Bay and be on the lookout for endangered North Atlantic right whales. Researchers have identified 61 right whales in Cape Cod Bay through aerial surveys in the last 2 weeks. The group includes 4 mother-calf pairs. The whales represent about 12% of the animal's total population of approximately 500 animals. A 100-gallon fuel tank fell off the back of a truck on Buck Island Road in Yarmouth yesterday. Yarmouth DPW crews responded and were able to remove that tank of fuel. It leaked about 15 gallons or so leaked into the roadway. You can see some photos from the scene at capecod.com and click on Cape Wide News. Speaking of fuel, Gas prices in Massachusetts continue to rise, up another 6 cents a gallon in the past week. AAA Northeast says prices in the Bay State have now risen for 5 consecutive weeks. According to the website GasBuddy.com, gas prices on Cape Cod range from between $2.50 and $2.59 a gallon this week across the area. 6:14 right now on the Cape Cod Morning News on WFCC. Matt McCarthy is back in. What's going on, Matt? Good to see you.
How are you doing? You know, gas prices here, you're not going to complain. $5 in Los Angeles.
It was
$5. So we can deal with that.
I may still complain. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Well, go for it. It's not going to do you any good, right?
What's going on in traffic on this early Tuesday?
Well, so far so good. We'll start on Route 6. A good ride from the bridge all the way out to P-Town. Sagamore Bridge looking fine at this time, although remember, you could run into some lane restrictions later on today. Over to the Bourne Bridge, no problems there. The Canal Road's looking fine at this time. No issues on Scenic Highway or Sandwich Road. 28 across the Cape is in good shape. A quiet ride on Route 6A. Route 3, not so bad so far. Some delays beyond 228 and up towards the split. 25 to 495 is a good ride, and no problems on 195 out to Providence and back. Matt?
All right, thank you, Matt. We'll be back in just a moment and update sports for you. Find out how the Red Sox did last night here on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time is 6:15.
More of the Cape Cod Morning News is coming up on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
When you think of family-owned Cape Cod jewelry and gift stores the way they used to be, Silva Jewelers in Osterville surely leaps to mind. Serving and giving back to the community for more than 30 years, Silva Jewelers is the quintessential Cape Cod family business. Customer service is their ultimate goal, and the owners ensure that by being part of the in-store experience every day. Specializing in custom handcrafted jewelry, Silva Jewelers offers full appraisal services, jewelry repairs, hand and machine engraving, estate purchasing and consignment services, significant access to the wholesale jewelry industry, and so much more. Find them online at silvajewelerscapecod.com and in their new location at 1112 Main Street in Osterville. You'll enjoy the kind of customer service you remember and deserve at Silva Jewelers.
Wednesday, May 13th from 10 to 4, get 20% off silver restoration. Don't hide old or broken family silver. Have it restored and use it proudly. No appointment necessary.
Cape Cod is fragile, and it's up to all of us to protect it. Hello, I'm Sean DeLude. Let NOS Disposal service your home or business, and your money stays on Cape Cod. Do business with NOS Disposal, a Cape and Island Level 2 green verified business, and you're protecting our environment. Join NOS Disposal, and you've joined a company fighting to support hundreds of nonprofits on Cape Cod. Call NOS Disposal to handle your waste and recycling needs and make Cape Cod a less fragile place. NOS Disposal, cleaning and greening the Cape one stop at a time.
Welcome back to the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
We're right in the middle of our nonstop news hour here on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time right now is 6:17. It's time to update sports. McCarthy goes away for a couple of days, and the Red Sox, I don't know if they've won since you've been away. Maybe, I think they have.
They may have won a few times, but not too often. You're checking the scores, and man, they seem to lose every single day. Well, they can't pitch. That's their issue. Clay Buchholz gave up 5 runs last night as the Sox lost again to the Rays 5-1. Buchholz's ERA now up over 6, adding insult to injury or injury to insult. Hanley Ramirez left the game after crashing into the wall and spraining his shoulder. He is considered day-to-day. It's not known yet if he'll need a stint on the disabled list. The Sox have lost 4 in a row. Rick Porcello takes the ball for Boston tonight against the Rays as they continue their series at Fenway Park. NBA playoffs last night. Chicago beat Cleveland 99-92 in Game 1 of their series. The Clippers beat the Rockets 117-101 in their series opener. Stanley Cup playoff action last night. The Washington Capitals shut out the Rangers 1-0 to take a 2-1 series lead. Braden Holtby made 30 saves in the win. Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski is one of 4 candidates for this year's edition of the Madden video game cover. Voting runs through next Monday. Busy day day for local high school sports yesterday. The St. John Paul II baseball team beat Cape Cod Academy 7-3. Lefty Blake Waters struck out 9 batters in the win. The DY softball team was all over Mashpee 14-3. The Dolphins are undefeated at 8-0, and the Falmouth Academy girls lacrosse team remained unbeaten, topping Mashpee 17-8. And for the latest in local high school sports, you can check out CapeCod.com and click on sports. Matt, I'll tell you, if Rob Gronkowski is on that Madden cover, I will freak out. That guy does not need any more bad injury karma.
That's a good point. Did you see he had quite an interesting outfit on the other night over at the Kentucky Derby?
Why am I not surprised?
It was Brian Merchant pointed out yesterday. It was some type of, I don't know, pinstripe. It looked odd, to be honest with you.
As most of the outfits at the Kentucky Derby do.
But if you're Gronkowski, you can literally wear anything. And be beloved right now.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if he's wearing a shirt or not wearing a shirt. Still love that guy.
You and I, not so much. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back in just a moment, we'll check business here on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time is 6:19.
Take Cape Classical 107.5 with you wherever you go. Use the links at WFCC.com to download our mobile app to your smartphone or tablet, or listen through TuneIn Radio on your device, and you'll always have something finer at your fingertips. Cape Classical 107.5, WFCC.
Fine wine. There are more choices now than ever before. So many new labels, and even new grapes. And, as is often the case with fine wine, lots of variation on vintages from wine-producing regions all over the globe. So, how do you select a bottle that suits your palate? I'm John Kenny, or as many know me, John the Wine Guy, co-owner of Harwich East. Over the years, I've helped countless customers find the perfect wine for their particular occasion. Many have commented about learning something, and even having fun while we're discovering new varieties from Spain, France, Italy, New Zealand, and our own West Coast. Whether we're talking terroir, tannins, or allocated coat wines, or you'd simply like to know what pairs best with fresh salmon for your Friday dinner party, I'd love to help. We'll customize a case of fine wine for you at Harwich East, and you'll receive 20% off every day. So come find me, John the Wine Guy, at Harwich East Liquors, intersection of Routes 39 and 137 in East Harwich. Hope to see you soon.
Named storm deductible, all peril deductible, wind deductible, no wind deductible. These insurance terms can be confusing. It's important to understand the differences before suffering a loss to your property. Current weather events have underscored the importance of knowing what's covered and what is not covered by your policies.
I'm Larry Horgan. At Horgan Insurance, we take the time to educate our clients about the options available so that together we can develop the right plan for you. Our licensed team reviews your coverage to be sure your insurance is up to date and takes advantage of all the policy credits available. Just ask any of our customers. Our personal service has been recognized since 1945. The proper coverage at the most competitive premiums, that's our goal.
Peace of mind comes from knowing that you have Horgan Insurance working for you. Call Horgan Insurance today to learn about all your home and auto insurance options to make an informed decision. Horgan Insurance, protecting Cape Codders since 1945.
It's something informative to start your day. The Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
It is that time of the morning when we update business here on the Cape Cod Morning News, and we start out with some local and state headlines with Matt McCarthy.
And good morning, Matt. Developers proposing a $650 million Foxwoods Resort Casino on the New Bedford waterfront say they've secured financing and brought on a former Foxwoods CEO as a partner. Scott Butera resigned as head of the Connecticut-based Foxwoods last fall. He confirms in a letter to state regulators that he's joined KG Urban Enterprises of New York. And of course, the Mashpee-Wampanoag tribe is hoping to build a resort casino in Taunton. Film students and professors from more than a dozen colleges and universities are urging lawmakers to keep the state's film tax credit, saying it helps boost their job prospects. Governor Charlie Baker has called for the elimination of the tax credit, arguing that it largely helps out-of-state and Hollywood production companies. And gas prices have gone up another 6 cents per gallon in the past week. AAA Northeast reports prices in the Bay State have now risen for 5 consecutive weeks, and gas is now up to an average of $2.60 per gallon for self-serve regular. Gas just keeps going up and up, Matt.
Yes, it does, just in time for the summer driving season, unfortunately. All right, let's check the markets with CNBC.
Good morning, I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC Radio. Cinco de Mayo on Wall Street. No big celebrations are planned. In fact, stocks may fall or just be flat. Walt Disney reports its earnings this morning. Frozen still hot 2 years after its release. ESPN is still making money on sports, but Disney's net income could be flat. We're going to have to find out why. And concert promoter Live Nation wants to make May 5th National Concert Day. To mark the event this time, it's going to hold a special concert in New York featuring Kid Rock and others. I don't think it's Cinco de Mayo related. Grain giant Archer Daniels Midland could see a 20% jump in profits today despite concerns about the GMOs in its food. A separate report is expected to show the services sector of the economy was still growing in April. The trade balance with the world may get just a bit wider. And the Players Golf Championship begins today. Talk about a lot of money. It's a $10 million purse this time, and the winner can take home up to $1.8 million. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC Radio.
And, of course, whenever you'd like some more information about the stories you're hearing on the Cape Cod Morning News, we invite you to our website at capecod.com. It is also the new home of Cape Wide News. We're going to take a break, and when we come back in just a moment, we're going to tell you about some Natural History Day programs you might want to be interested in with the kids over the next couple of days. That story is straight ahead here on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time is 6:24.
There's more to come. The Cape Cod Morning News continues next on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
For 150 years, the New England music community has turned to M. Steinert & Sons in Boston for pianos of the highest quality. As the region's only authorized Steinway dealer, M. Steinert & Sons is privileged to offer the instrument that's universally acknowledged as the world's finest piano. In addition to Steinway, Steinert's offers a wide array of pianos to suit all levels of experience and any budget. Whether you play professionally or for pleasure, M. Steinert & Sons has a piano that's perfect for your needs, from the powerful tones of the Steinway-designed Boston piano to the affordable Essex line to the superior Roland digital piano. The next time you visit Boston, visit the M. Steinert & Sons showroom on Boylston Street in the Theater District across from the Boston Common. Sit and play, or simply listen to the amazing selection of pianos all in one place. Go to msteinert.com to learn more about the pianos available. M. Steinert & Sons, New England's finest pianos for 150 years.
It's the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
6:26 right now here on the Cape Cod Morning News, and we're going to talk about some potential visits you might want to take to the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History today in the Nature of Things.
With the Nature of Things, I'm Adam Forziati. Does your child love what makes Cape Cod such a rich picture of biodiversity and ecology? Or have they ever just said cool upon seeing a turtle poke his head up from underwater or an osprey make a dive for fish? If so, they may be in luck this summer. You could send them to Kids Summer, a set of naturalistic programs being offered by the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History for kids of multiple age groups. Kids will be immersed in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics as they relate to Cape Cod plants, insects, birds, and mammals, all within range of 400 acres of conservation land on Cape Cod Bay. One program, Birding 101, will teach kids how to identify birds in various habitat types surrounding the museum. Another, the Junior Naturalist program, will turn enthusiastic middle schoolers into museum ambassadors. Students will earn school credit by taking what they learn in the field to different sections of the museum to answer visitor questions. To sign up, visit the Museum of Natural History in person on 6A in Brewster or on their website, ccmnh.org. With the Nature of Things, I'm Adam Forziati.
Okay, Adam, thank you. We'll take another break. When we get back, we'll get the second half hour of the Cape Cod Morning News underway for you on a Tuesday. WFCC News Time right now is 6:27.
The Cape Cod Morning News will continue on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
This is Jung Ho Park, Artistic Director and Conductor of the Cape Symphony. We're excited to present the most infamous piece of classical music, Carmina Burana, as our final concert this season. This medieval manuscript written by minstrels and monks paints a satirical picture of some taboo topics: drinking, desire, gambling, wealth, and the fickle hand of fate. Hear an authentic medieval presentation by early music specialists, the renowned Boston Camerata. Then we turn to Carl Orff's modern, big, bold, and body version of this text. 3 soloists, 2 choruses, and an enormous orchestra combine forces for an unabashed and unrelenting celebration of life, passion, drama, innocence, and excess. It's all found in Carmina Burana, and I'll see you at the symphony.
Shake it up with the Symphony. Order tickets today at capesymphony.org or call 508-362-1111. Carmina Burana, May 9th and 10th. Sponsored by Eastern Bank.
Welcome back to the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
It is a Tuesday morning right here on the Cape Cod Morning News. We're glad to have you with us here. We have another 30 minutes of news and information to get your day off on the right track. Dave Reed says today, clouds on the increase. We could see some showers later on this afternoon and a high of 67. Winds out of the north at 5 to 15 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Tonight, mostly cloudy, and we'll get down to 49. Dave will be by with all the forecast details and your conditions coming up in just a couple of moments. Let's check the nation and the world with AP Radio News.
AP Radio News. I'm Rita Foley. Islamic State militants are claiming responsibility for the attack Sunday in suburban Dallas outside a Prophet Muhammad cartoon contest. In the words of the Islamic State group, 2 soldiers of the caliphate carried out the attack. The 2 suspects were shot dead by police. One of them, Elton Simpson, was prosecuted 5 years ago for lying to a federal agent in a terror investigation. His attorney, Christina Sitton, said he must have just snapped on Sunday.
I never saw any indications that he was violent. He just, he was always very peaceful with me, even to the point where I think I got more riled up about the charges than he did because I thought they were absolutely outrageous.
Meanwhile, the Islamic militant statement taking responsibility for the attack threatens the U.S. with more violence. President Obama talked about the riots in Baltimore on David Letterman's show late last night.
This is not just a policing problem. What you have are pockets of poverty, lack of opportunity, lack of education, all across this country. And too often we ignore those pockets until something happens.
The president said too many minority communities don't have a trusting relationship with police. Testimony resumes this morning in the trial of Colorado movie theater shooter James Holmes. Yesterday, jurors saw a video in which Holmes asks detectives, "There weren't any children hurt, were there?" The video was recorded at police headquarters about 2 hours after the attack in July of 2012, in which 12 people died and 70 were wounded. Another Republican will enter the presidential race today. Former Governor Mike Huckabee will announce today in his hometown of Hope, Arkansas, where former President Clinton was also born. This is AP Radio News. The penalty phase of the Boston Marathon bomber's trial continues, with the jury deciding whether he should be executed. Johar Tsarnaev hasn't shown much emotion during this trial, but he did yesterday after his aunt broke down on the witness stand and was unable to continue testifying on his behalf. Our Denise Lavoie was there.
As she was leaving the witness stand, just sobbing so loudly that everyone in the courtroom could hear, Johar took a tissue and wiped his eyes, and that's the first bit of emotion we've seen from him. Normally, he just sits in the chair and looks straight ahead and doesn't even look over at the witnesses. As he was let out by U.S. Marshals for the lunch break, he actually blew a kiss to his family members who were in the courtroom.
Denise Lavoie reporting there from Boston. A Raleigh, North Carolina police officer who got a free cup of Starbucks coffee is suing the company now for $50,000 after he spilled it and was burned. I'm Rita Foley, AP Radio News.
The Cape in the summer is magic. The sun in the sea and the wind on the shore. These days are made for families. That's what we're here for. At the Lobster Claw Restaurant, great dining by the sea. At the Lobster Claw Restaurant, we're one big family.
For over 40 years, the Berrick family has welcomed your family to the Lobster Claw Restaurant. A true Cape Cod tradition, the Lobster Claw serves lunch and dinner daily from 11:30. Enjoy our famous midweek lobster specials, delicious fried lobster or succulent lobster Newburg for just $14.95 every Sunday through Thursday. And we can even host your private function. So come join us at the Lobster Claw on Route 6A in Orleans and enjoy the hospitality of Cape Cod's #1 family restaurant.
At the Lobster Claw Restaurant, we're one big family.
The Lobster Claw Restaurant is open for lunch and dinner 7 days per week.
It's something informative to start your day. The Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
And you are right in the middle of your nonstop news hour here each morning on 107.5 WFCC, the Cape Cod Morning News. And Dave Reed says clouds on the increase today with a chance of showers and a high near 67. He's by with your forecast. In just a couple of moments, let's get underway with your local news right now. It is a very busy day here. Barnstable police are investigating an attempted abduction in Cotuit yesterday. Police say a white man around 6 foot with a thin build and short dark brown and gray hair tried to pull a teenage girl into his pickup truck. That truck described as an older model, reddish-brown four-door or extended cab. The incident happened at a bus stop on Putnam Avenue. Anybody with information is asked to contact Barnstable Police. They are seeking some more information in connection with that case. Town meetings across the area last night. In fact, 6 communities holding sessions. In Harwich, town meeting voters approved a budget of more than $56 million last night. That includes $22.8 million for the Monomoy Regional School District. Finance Committee Chairman Skip Patterson says the town has to work on reining in spending.
On our current trajectory, we can expect our taxes to double in 6 to 10 years, depending on whether we can rein in the persisting growing costs.
Harwich residents also approved a capital plan update and funding for a new ambulance and vehicle for the fire chief. Town meeting will continue later on tonight. Eastham town meeting voters passed a $23 million budget last night, $746,000 in capital acquisitions, including 2 ambulances and several affordable housing measures. They enthusiastically approved $85 million for the second phase of a town water project, which Selectman Chair Linda Burt says will extend services into Eastham.
People that have got the water to begin with for the small system, it was good for them, but we were worried about the people that still weren't going to get clean water, and this is going to do it for them.
The town also used electronic voting for the first time. The election in Eastham is on May 19th. Mashpee town meeting voters approved a $53 million budget and $700,000 in capital projects last night unanimously and with no discussion. About 180 people attended the session at Mashpee High School. Conservation agent and herring warden Drew McManus urges people to support a community preservation fund purchase of a 4-acre parcel on Washburn Pond for about $170,000.
That parcel of land at 9 Quashnet Road, just because of its proximity to pond front and to the Mashpee River, I felt it was an important piece of land to set aside as conservation.
The article passed with a strong majority last night in Mashpee. A nearly $70 million budget was passed last night at Sandwich Town Meeting, but the most discussion went to the restoration of a piano dated from 1895, which sits in Town Hall. Resident Bill Braley spoke out about the piano last night.
We're looking for a permanent number, $10,000, and I'm envious of the school committee looking for a $68 million budget with no discussion. We are discussing at quite a length the $10,000 appropriation.
The restoration did pass in Sandwich, and a beach nourishment appropriation for nearly $55,000 was also approved in Sandwich last evening. A $22 million operating budget and a $10 million debt exclusion for road repair passed in Brewster, and in Bourne, town meeting voters approved money to rehab Buzzards Bay Park and a $58 million spending plan for the upcoming fiscal year. That was in Brewster and Bourne, the additional towns holding town meetings last night. 6:36 right now in the Cape Cod Morning News. It's time to update our forecast in depth again with Dave Reed here live in studio. Dave, what do you have for us this half hour?
Well, spring definitely had sprung yesterday. Today is still pretty nice. We're talking about some sunshine for a little while this morning, but the clouds already are on the increase coming in from the southwest. And that's in connection with an approaching cold front. With that, a small chance of a shower this afternoon. Much needed rain, 30% probability of anything to help us, and highs near 67. Mostly cloudy, 49 tonight, and 65 degrees tomorrow, with improving skies becoming partly sunny. Sunshine closer to 70 on Thursday. Only 2-foot seas and 5 to 15 knot north winds expected today. It's 57 in West Tisbury, Centerville, and Osterville. Out towards the lighthouse, 61 there in Truro, and 55 in Dennis, 57, and still partly sunny here in Hyannis. I'm Dave Reed.
Dave, I'm deciding which day to bring out the old convertible. Is that, Thursday maybe? Thursday, Friday?
Well, you should have done it yesterday. It was pretty nice. Yeah, you kind of missed the boat, but we'll have more opportunities soon.
All right. My car's as big as a boat, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it out there.
Remember that car? All right. Thank you, Dave. Dave Reed with our forecast here on the Cape Cod Morning News. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to get the latest from Barnstable Superior Court, where the Quizell Wilson trial got underway yesterday. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. WFCC News Time is 6:38.
More of the Cape Cod Morning News is coming up on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
Located directly on the harbor front,
Mattakese Wharf invites you to experience spectacular views of Barnstable Seaport. Nothing says it's summer like a harborside table at Mattakese Wharf for lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. The Vendetti family would like to say thank you to all their customers and invite you to come celebrate another season of unforgettable waterfront dining. Set the scene this Mother's Day and treat your mom to sunset views at the Mattakese Wharf on the Millway in Barnstable Harbor and online at mattakese.com.
Take a look at your kitchen. What do your cabinets look like? Do they look the same as the day you bought your home? Do you find yourself in your kitchen wishing you didn't have dead corners, or worse, wishing avocado green would make a comeback? Well, creating a kitchen that's useful, functional, and beautiful is affordable with cabinet refacing from the Countertop Stop in West Yarmouth. That's right, refacing is simple and affordable. They replace and fix your doors, drawers, and drawer fronts. Pop on a new countertop and suddenly your kitchen looks like it belongs on the cover of a magazine. It's a whole new look at a fraction of the cost because there's no extra construction. Just a new kitchen, completed and all the details coordinated by Loring Wardell and the Countertop Stop. It's what he's been doing for nearly 30 years. Call Loring today for a no-obligation quote. The kitchen of your dreams is just a phone call away. Call 508-394-6700 or stop by their showroom on Old Townhouse Road in West Yarmouth. It's the Countertop Stop.
CAZEAULT. Cazault Roofing is a lot more than roofing. Our family has been taking care of Cape Codders since 1927. Always providing quality roofing, turn to us for all your exterior remodeling needs. Siding, gutters, trim replacement, and carpentry services, as well as solar panel installations. Ask about our solar leasing program and affordable monthly payments. Cazault would be more than happy to provide a free roof evaluation and estimate of whatever work may be needed. Ask about our discounts for veterans and active military members. Cazault quality counts no matter what the job, so let our family take care of yours. Visit our website at cazault.com, CAZEAULT, or call Cazault today, 428-1177.
It's the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
6:40 right now here on the Cape Cod Morning News as we continue on a Tuesday. The murder trial of Koizell Wilson began yesterday at Barnstable Superior Court with jury impanelment. Wilson is accused of killing Trudy Hall of Nantucket, who police say was pregnant with his child. 6 men and 6 women were chosen for the jury. The trial is on a break today and will continue Wednesday to choose 4 more jury members. Mashpee Middle High School will hold a forum in support of our children this evening, beginning at 6. Brian Merchant explains what that's about.
The hour-and-a-half event will feature guest speakers that will inform parents on issues that affect students. Headmaster Kevin Turner says it takes more than just reaching out to the children.
It's incredibly important we reach out to parents as well, because one of the topics that Ray Tomasi will talk about is that the first time someone overdoses of heroin, it's not the first time they've done something illegal. So it starts with alcohol, it starts with marijuana, it starts somewhere.
Gosnold of Cape Cod CEO Ray Tomasi will be one of the many guest speakers that will address parents on issues that include drugs and alcohol, social media, and the use of drug dogs in school. Brian Merchant, CapeCod.com News Center.
The newly named #1 public school in the state continues to lead the pack when it comes to academic excellence. The Sturgis Charter Public School got its title from the Washington Post 2015 Challenge Index last week. Executive Director Eric Heiser says it's because they share their education best practices with other schools.
I think what we've decided to do is focus on mentoring other schools, and we're very actively involved in mentoring other schools in the model.
The school brought in the same title from the Washington Post last year. Sandwich police are investigating a crash yesterday at the intersection of 6A and Quaker Meeting House Road. Several people evaluated after the 2-car crash. We have photos up online right now, capecod.com, and click on Cape Wide News. A walk to benefit Mid-Cape residents with dementia or Alzheimer's disease steps off on May 9th. The Dave Birtwell Memorial Remembry Walk will feature a silent auction, food, music, and more. Barbara Ann Foley helps organize that event.
People come and they can walk if they're able to. It's a 6K walk, which is just over 4 miles. It's a nice, safe walk. It's on the bike path on Oak Street in Harwich.
All proceeds will help residents in Harwich, Chatham, Orleans, and Brewster with medical expenses. Participants can register at 11 a.m. at Brooks Park Park in Harwich. Falmouth police are investigating a crash yesterday on 28 in East Falmouth. The 2 people injured in that crash. Firefighters had to use the jaws of life on one of the vehicles. Traffic was impacted as a result of that crash yesterday in Falmouth. All right, right now it's 6:43 here on the Cape Cod Morning News on WFCC. It's time to update traffic again. Matt McCarthy is standing by with our second update here. What's going on the roads? You have any new problems out there for us, Matt?
We're really not encountering any major problems at this time, Matt. We'll start on Route 6. That's a good ride from P-Town all the way out to the bridge. Sagamore Bridge looking fine at this time, although remember you could run into some lane restrictions later on today. Those restrictions on an as-needed basis. Over to the Bourne Bridge, we're not looking at any major problems there. The canal roads are looking fine at this time. No issues on Scenic Highway or on Sandwich Road. Route 28 across the Shape is in good shape. It's a quiet ride on Route 6A. Route 3, not too bad so far. It's a little slower going once you hit Route 18, but it's not a terrible ride up to the expressway in Route 128. 25 to 495 is a good ride and no problems on 195 out to Providence and back. Matt?
Okay, thank you, Matt. Matt McCarthy with a check of traffic. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with another update on sports for you straight ahead on the Cape Cod Morning News. WFCC News Time is 6:44.
There's more to come. The Cape Cod Morning News continues next on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
Hello, my name is Troy Walls, owner and operator of Walls Construction and Remodeling. Since 1985, Cape Cod homeowners have relied on us to handle their home remodeling projects, including window replacement. Over the past 30 years, we've installed many different types of windows. We prefer Marvin and Integrity windows from Mid-Cape Home Centers. We trust Mid-Cape Home Centers for all our new window project materials, and with the quality and craftsmanship from Marvin and Integrity, you simply can't go wrong. Whether you have a historic home on Old Kings Highway or a more contemporary smart home on the water, Marvin and Integrity windows and doors will have the solution. At Walls Construction and Remodeling, we do it all, and we guarantee you'll be happy when we're done. Just ask our customers. Call us at 508-394-1205, visit wallscapecod.com, or stop into Mid-Cape Home Centers to learn more about the vast selection of Marvin and Integrity windows and doors. Together, we'll have your home looking like new.
Go where the pros go. Mid-Cape Home Centers.
Charming, inviting, and romantic. Hi, I'm Denise Atwood from the Red Pheasant Inn on Route 6A in Dennis Village. My husband, Chef Bill Atwood, and I welcome you to our restaurant to experience our creative, classic, and modern cuisine. Delight in the first signs of spring. Savor wild leeks, artichokes, asparagus, and wild mushrooms paired with dayboat scallops and Faroe Island salmon. Sit by the windows and take in the view from our garden room, or relax in the wood-beam dining room of a 200-year-old barn. Visit the Red Pheasant's cozy wine and martini bar for small plates full of exquisite flavor, such as kimchi pierogies or our own country-style terrine. Enjoy our fun hour at the bar with bargain raw bar prices from 4:30 to 6 each evening. Join us on Mother's Day for dinner from 1 to 5 and plan to take advantage of Restaurant Week May 11th to 16th with our special 3-course prefix dinner selections. For all our complete menus, visit redpheasantin.com.
Welcome back to the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
We're so glad you're with us right here in the middle of our nonstop hour of morning news here on WFCC on this Tuesday. It's time to check sports again. Matt McCarthy is standing by. Red Sox are just... Well, you just don't want to get this deep in a hole this early in the season, Matt.
No, you certainly do not. They've lost 4 in a row and 9 out of 12. That's after losing to the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1 last night. Clay Buchholz's ERA ballooned to 6.03 after giving up all 5 runs last night. And just to make matters worse, their best hitter, Hanley Ramirez, left the game after crashing into the wall and spraining his left shoulder. He is considered day-to-day at this time, but he has had 2 surgeries in his career on that shoulder, so certainly cause for concern there. Rick Porcello takes the ball for Boston tonight against Drew Smyly as the Sox continue their series with the Rays. Sox looking to get back in the win column. Stanley Cup playoff action last night. The Washington Capitals shut out the Rangers 1-0 to take a 2-1 series lead. Braden Holtby made 30 saves in the win. NBA playoffs, Chicago beat Cleveland 99-92 in Game 1 of their series. The Clippers beat the Rockets 117-101 in their series opener. Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski is one of 4 4 candidates for this year's edition of the Madden video game cover. Voting runs through next Monday to see if he gets into the final 2. A busy day for local high school sports yesterday. The St. John Paul II baseball team beat Cape Cod Academy 7-3. Southpaw Blake Waters struck out 9 batters in the win. The DY softball team was all over Mashpee 14-3. The Dolphins are undefeated at 8-0, and the Falmouth Academy girls lacrosse team remained unbeaten, topping Mashpee 17-8. And you can check out complete coverage of local high school sports at capecod.com. Click on sports, and let's see if the Sox can get a win tonight, Matt.
All right, so it's Porcello and Smiley, right?
Porcello and Smiley.
Porcello is 2-2.
He's got a 5 ERA, which is pretty good for the Red Sox, considering they have the worst ERA in the American League. So he's below the average. There you go.
We were saying that Buckholz yesterday has not won since opening day. That's still correct, right?
I believe you're right. Yeah. I think so.
That's your ace, right?
That is your ace.
He's not your ace or my ace.
No, he certainly isn't. He's their ace.
I want no credit for him right now at this point.
Goodness.
All right, Matt. Thank you. Matt McCarthy with sports here on the Cape Cod Morning News. We're going to take a break and come back in just a moment and get some health headlines updated for you on a Tuesday morning. WFCC News Time is 6:49.
Something informative, something fun, someplace to eat or stay. They're all just a click away at capecod.com. Plus, local news, weather, traffic, and sports. If it's happening on the Cape and Islands, it's happening on capecod.com. A service of Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC. Something finer.
O'Reilly. Changing your own motor oil can save you money and time, and O'Reilly Auto Parts has the tools and supplies you need to get the job done quick, clean, and easy. Pick up an oil change kit from O'Reilly Auto Parts on sale for $5. It includes shop towels, a funnel, drain pan, and hand cleaner. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, when you buy your clothes at DXL, you look good. But you feel like a rock star. So if you want to look and feel like you'll find all the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL, you're looking good. Right now, select dress shirts are just $49.50 each when you buy 2 or more.
Surround your outdoors in comfort and style. Casual designs for modern outdoor living. Casual Designs.
Casual Designs of Cape Cod offers the best designs from the top names in casual furniture, including beautiful Gloucester and Kingsley Bay teak, Lloyd Flanders indoor-outdoor wicker, Brown Jordan furniture, and Seaside and Byrawood furniture. For your porch or your sunroom, your patio or your pool, Casual Designs helps you create a stylish and relaxed environment. Enjoy the best prices of the early season now during their Spring Fever sale on exciting new inventory and their clearance sale on 2014 items. Visit their 2 showrooms on Route 28 in Harwichport and Route 28 in Mashpee, or preview their selection online at casualdesignsofcapecod.com.
Casual Designs.
It's something informative to start your day. The Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
It is 6:51. It is that time of the morning when we take a look at some health headlines. A couple of interesting stories for you today. First of all, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, your appetite may not be what it once was. Yet you do need nourishment more than ever to stay strong during treatment and throughout the recovery. Well, researchers say that getting a smoothie is actually a pretty good way to build some nutrients into your diet. Dietitian Linda Malone says that if you can have some of those smoothies on a regular basis, it will actually help boost your strength and find some flavors that are appealing. And this is something that cancer patients have been having more of in recent years. There's a lot of misinformation floating around these days about diverticular disease, namely diverticulosis. Patients believe that they cannot eat nuts or seeds, one of the most common myths, or that they simply are confused about the difference between the conditions. But there are some common myths that are being dispelled now. If you have diverticulitis, you should avoid eating nuts, seeds, and popcorn. Now, the fact is, the most persistent myth actually contradicts advice doctors give for preventing the condition in the first place. A healthy, high-fiber diet is actually the best medicine against diverticulitis, and seeds and nuts do fit the bill. And they used to think that a cedar nut would plug up the pocket in the colon, and that's what caused it to become inflamed or to rupture. But no surgeon has actually seen that, and studies are strongly suggesting that there is actually nothing to that idea when it comes to diverticulitis. And getting that protein, you should check with your doctor to see what he or she says about eating nuts, seeds, and popcorn to see if some of those items might actually be beneficial for your diet if you have diverticulitis. All right, we'll take a break. When we get back in just a moment, we're going to take a look into our spyglass today, into some history here on Cape Cod, on the Cape Cod Morning News, where the WFCC news time is 6:53.
The Cape Cod Morning News will continue on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC, something finer.
Hi, this is Chip. I own Kitchen Creations in West Yarmouth. People ask all the time, what's the real difference between your cabinets and your competitors? At Kitchen Creations, all of our cabinetry is built right here in our West Yarmouth factory. No distributors, no middlemen. Come in, visit our showroom, take a tour of our factory, and see side-by-side comparisons of our cabinetry and our competitions. Kitchen Creations. If quality matters and price is important, you really need to come and see us.
Kitchen Creations, 560 Higgins Crowell Road, West Yarmouth.
It's the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
6:54 right now here on the Cape Cod Morning News, and some local history is going to be in focus in the near future here on Cape Cod as we take a look into the spyglass.
With the Cape Spyglass, I'm Brian Merchant. The truth behind how the German codes were broken to help win the Second World War will be at the heart of Dr. Thomas Pereira's keynote speech at this year's Chatham-Marconi Maritime Center annual meeting. The meeting will be held Saturday, May 9th at the Chatham Community Center on Main Street at 10 o'clock in the morning. The Chatham-Marconi Maritime Center is celebrating the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II with a number of exhibits through its Marconi RCA Wireless Museum and special events throughout the year. One of the highlighted exhibits features a German Enigma cipher machine and Enigma simulator. Pereira, who is a professor emeritus at Montclair State University in New Jersey, is a renowned collector of cipher machines and provided the Enigma, which was used in the Oscar award-winning film The Imitation Game. The professor promises to expand on the story partially told in the film. The CMMC's museum building was at the heart of the U.S. Navy's top-secret Station C, which monitored and intercepted Enigma encrypted messages going to and from German naval forces operating in the Atlantic Ocean. With the Cape Spyglass, I'm Brian Merchant.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. We're going to take a break here on this Tuesday morning here on the Cape Cod Morning News. Right now, checking your temperature, by the way, 54 here in Hyannis, and we're calling for some clouds on the increase today, maybe a shower this afternoon. We'll go in-depth on the Sturgis Charter Public School in just a moment. WFCC News Time is 6:55.
More of the Cape Cod Morning News is coming up on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC, something finer.
Being a division of Hyannis Honda, we're 100% committed to customer satisfaction.
The Orleans Auto Center offers all makes and models of pre-owned cars and trucks.
Vehicles starting as low as $79.95. We have all different types of pre-owned vehicles. We have pre-owned Hondas, Toyotas, Fords. We have a vast selection. Come give us a try. You'll be glad you did. We're sure to have a car that fits the budget.
The Orleans Auto Center is a full-service dealership with a full line of pre-owned cars, SUVs, and trucks. The Orleans Auto Center specializes in servicing Honda vehicles as well as most makes and models with a full parts and service department.
9 years ago, we opened the Orleans Auto Center to better service our Lower Cape customers. Whether it's service or parts or a pre-owned vehicle, we'll be happy to show you what we have, and if we don't have it, there's a good chance we can get it for you. Feel free to come down and browse our new Hondas that are on display for you.
Visit the Orleans Auto Center, a division of Hyannis Honda on 6 West Road, Orleans.
Welcome back to the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC.
Let's go in-depth right now. The newly named #1 public school in the state continues to lead the pack when it comes to academic excellence. The Sturgis Charter School getting its title this week from the Washington Post 2015 Challenge Index. We spoke with Eric Heiser, their executive director, yesterday to find out what are the keys to success for Sturgis.
Our students are really interested in the best kind of preparation they can have for going into the next level, university preparation. Our students, alumni come back and tell us how their first 2 years of college were not as challenging as they expected them to be, and Sturgis was virtually as challenging as their college courses. And so I think there's a piece that our students are interested in and highly motivated to do as well as they possibly can, and we're lucky to have an outstanding faculty. I have always told people that recruiting faculty is the most important thing I do, because it's the relationship between students and faculty that makes all the difference. And so I think those two things have led to such a strong program and respect and recognition from across the state and beyond.
Eric, as somebody who leads one of the most successful charters in the state right now, what are your thoughts on how the charters, statewide, how charters and the public schools themselves, the traditional public schools, should be kind of interacting, if you will, or cooperating? What's the relationship there?
Well, I think we actually at Sturgis do a lot of support and interaction and mentoring of school districts across the state and beyond. Actually, we're working actively with Quabbin Regional School District right now in supporting their IB effort. We are working with other school districts where to send in numbers of visitors with us for 1 or 2 day visits. We've had visitors from the Chicago Public Schools.
That's Eric Heiser, the Executive Director of the Sturgis Charter Public School, a true success story of education right here on Cape Cod. And that is going to bring the Cape Cod Morning News to an end for today. We're back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm back with more news headlines in just a moment. Have a good morning.
Learn more about the stories you've heard and stay connected to local news and information anytime at CapeCod.com. This has been the Cape Cod Morning News with Matt Pitta on Cape Classical 107.5 WFCC Chatham.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Matt Pitta. Here's what's happening right now. Barnstable police are looking for help from the public today as they investigate a reported attempted abduction. This happened in Cotuit yesterday. Police say a white man around 6 foot with a thin build and short dark or gray hair tried to pull a teenage girl into his pickup truck. The truck described as an older model reddish-brown four-door or extended cab. Now, this happened at a bus stop on Putnam Avenue. Anybody with information is asked to contact Barnstable Police. Mashpee Town Meeting approved a $53 million budget and $700,000 in capital projects last night unanimously. And with no discussion, Conservation Agent and Herring Warden Drew McManus urged people to support a community preservation fund purchase of a 4-acre parcel on Washburn Pond for about $170,000.
That parcel of land at 9 Quashnet Road, just because of its proximity to pond front and to the Mashpee River, I felt it was an important piece of land to set aside as conservation.
The article passed by a strong majority. Eastham Town Meeting voters passed a $23 million budget last night, $746,000 in capital acquisitions as well, and they enthusiastically approved $85 million for the second phase of a town water project.
People that have got the water to begin with for the small system, it was good for them, but we were worried about the people that still weren't going to get clean water, and this is going to do it for them.
That's Selectman Chair Linda Burt last night. Harwich Town Meeting voters approved a budget of more than $56 million. That includes $22.8 million for the Monomoy School District.
On our current trajectory, we can expect our taxes to double in 6 to 10 years, depending on whether we can rein in the persisting growing costs.
That was a warning last night from the Finance Committee Chairman Skip Patterson, who says the town does need to work on reining in spending. And parking fees are going up this summer. The Cape Cod National Seashore daily pass for a motor vehicle will jump from $15 to $20. Check sports. Red Sox lose to Tampa Bay 5-1. Your forecast, increasing clouds with a high of 67. I'm Matt Pitta in the CapeCod.com News Center.
For many Cape Codders, Social Security is a major portion of their retirement income. How and when you claim Social Security benefits could make the difference of tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. John Smith, a financial planning consultant at Stifel, will be in Hyannis to present his Coming to Our Senses on Social Security seminar at the Cape Codder Hotel on Route 132. Tuesday, May 5th at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Wednesday, May 6th at 5:30 in the afternoon. This free seminar will focus on the qualification, rules, and available claiming strategies for married couples, divorced individuals, and surviving spouses. Call us now for reservations at 420-7000. Again, ask for Susan at 420-7000. This information may help you make the best decision about your benefits from Social Security. Stiefel Nicholas Incorporated, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
Good morning, I'm Chuck Kamlick. CNBC radio stocks could take a bit of a breather today. Futures point to a flat open right now, maybe lower. Been a big week for Cisco Systems. Yesterday, the announcement of a new CEO this summer. Today, Cisco rolls out a product for cable companies that will help them offer customers download speeds of 1 gigabyte per second. It's going to cost the cable guys less. Let's stick with high tech. Apple reportedly working on a new remote control for Apple TV that includes a touchpad that will, they say, help users navigate through the system more easily. Disney will release earnings this morning. Next hour, we'll see what effect its movies have had on income. Frozen continues to be hot. Tenet Healthcare reported last night, thanks to Obamacare, the hospital chain served more patients and was able to turn a profit. And it was a tough winter for everyone. State highway officials report that 23 states spent more than $1 billion cleaning snow and ice-covered roads, 6 million tons of salt used. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC Radio.
This is Classical 107.5, WFCC.